June 9th, 1991 began like any other day at Kings Island, but it would end as the deadliest day in the park's history, Black Sunday. Thousands of visitors were enjoying the early summer sun, unaware of the tragedies that would soon unfold. The first tragedy began at the Biergarten Lake, where 22-year-old Timothy Binning was walking with friends. Timothy reached for a fountain jet, but the moment he touched the water, a massive electrical shock surged through him. His friend William and a security guard, Daryl, both jumped in to save him, but tragically, both were fatally electrocuted. Timothy survived with severe burns, but his rescuers were gone and the night was far from over. Less than an hour later, at the Flight Commander ride, 32-year-old Candy Taylor fell 60 feet from her capsule. Investigators later found a faulty aerator pump had turned the pond into a lethal electrical field. Safety violations were found park-wide. The tragedies of Black Sunday led to sweeping safety changes, forever changing the landscape of Kings Island. We remember those lost and the heroes who tried to save them. Safety remains a somber lesson from June 9th, 1991. It was the tallest, fastest, and only looping wooden roller coaster in the world. In 2000, Kings Island unveiled Son of Beast, a massive sequel to their legendary coaster, The Beast. It was a structural marvel pushing the limits of what a wooden coaster could do. But from the very beginning, the Sun was plagued by problems that would eventually seal its fate. Even before it opened, the original designers were fired and sections of the ride actually collapsed during construction. The ride was notoriously rough. In 2001, reports surfaced of riders suffering serious injuries. One rider even suffered a broken neck due to the ride's immense roughness and forces. While the park cited pre-existing conditions, the coaster's reputation for being a bone shaker was growing. Retracking and repairs became a constant, costly necessity every single off-season. Then, in 2006, the unthinkable happened. A structural failure jolted a train full of riders. 27 people were hospitalized after the track literally split under the weight of the train. To save the ride, Kings Island made a drastic choice. They removed the iconic vertical loop. Lighter trains were brought in to reduce the stress on the aging wooden structure. It reopened in 2007, but the Sun was now a shadow of its former self, and its days were numbered. The ride continued to struggle with maintenance and poor guest reviews. In 2009, another rider reported a serious head injury. This was the final straw. The ride was closed indefinitely. For 3 years, it sat as a silent wooden ghost in the park. In 2012, Kings Island finally announced that the Sun would be brought down. Demolition took months. Fans watched as the once mighty hypercoaster was reduced to scrap. Pieces of the track and structural bolts were even sold as souvenirs to dedicated enthusiasts. In its place rose Banshee, a world-class steel coaster that brought new life to the area. Today, a small tombstone near the Banshee entrance marks where the Sun once stood. Despite its failure, Son of Beast's records for height and speed still stand today. It remains a cautionary tale of engineering ambition, outstripping the safety technology of its time. The station lived on for years as a haunted attraction, keeping the ghost of the ride alive. For those who rode it, the experience was unforgettable, for better or for worse. It was an era of extreme rides that pushed boundaries further than ever before. The story of Son of Beast is a reminder that in the search for thrills, safety must always come first. A record breaker that was simply too much for the world to handle. Thanks for joining me on this journey through coaster history. See you next time. Standing as a titan among wooden roller coasters, the Son of Beast was meant to be a record breaker. But in 2009, one incident at this Ohio landmark would change everything for the legendary ride. In May of that year, a report surfaced that would seal the fate of the world's tallest wooden coaster. It was a typical spring day when a woman reported a severe injury after riding the massive structure. The symptoms were alarming, leading to a diagnosis that shocked the amusement park community. She had suffered a burst blood vessel in her brain, an injury she directly attributed to the ride's forces. The report was the final straw for a ride already plagued by a history of safety concerns. This wasn't the first time the Son of Beast had made headlines for the wrong reasons. In 2006, a major structural failure on the ride had already injured 27 people. The ride was modified, its iconic loop removed in an attempt to lighten the trains and reduce stress. But even these massive modifications couldn't fix the fundamental engineering challenges. The sheer force of a wooden coaster reaching those unprecedented speeds was simply too much. Immediately after the 2009 report, Kings Island officials made the call to halt operations. The ride was shut down indefinitely while state inspectors and engineers moved in. Every inch of the massive wooden frame was scrutinized to find the cause of the injury. The investigation lasted months, leaving fans and the industry in a state of tense suspense. Rumors swirled about whether the coaster could ever be made safe enough for the public again. Would it be repaired once more, or was this finally the end for the record-breaking giant? Kings Island eventually broke their silence, releasing the findings of the exhaustive study. Surprisingly, investigators found no specific mechanical failure related to the 2009 incident. However, the park management realized the design had simply reached its physical limits. For 3 long years, the Son of Beast stood as a silent wooden ghost on the park's horizon. In the summer of 2012, the park finally made the announcement many had long feared. The decision was final. The world's tallest wooden coaster was to be demolished. A grueling 5-month demolition process began, piece by piece tearing down the landmark. By the end of that year, the coaster that once dominated the skyline was completely gone. Today, that same ground is home to the record-breaking steel coaster, the Banshee. It stands as a smoother, safer, and more reliable tribute to the land it now occupies. But the story of the Son of Beast remains a powerful cautionary tale in the world of engineering. A record breaker that pushed the limits of physics, perhaps just a little too far. In July 1976, a tragedy struck Kings Island that would change theme park safety forever. 20-year-old ranger Jack McCann was fatally mauled by a lion. The Lion Country Safari was meant to be a safe way for guests to see wild animals from a monorail, but the dangers were very real. McCann was on a solo patrol when he made the fateful decision to step out of his protected vehicle, violating strict park rules. The attack was swift and fatal. Investigations later revealed that McCann had been injured by a lion just 2 weeks earlier, raising serious safety concerns. In 1977, the park rebranded the attraction to distance itself from the tragedy, eventually closing the animal exhibits for good. The story of Jack McCann remains a somber reminder that even in a controlled environment, the wild remains unpredictable and powerful. Today, safety is the top priority in every park, a legacy born from the lessons of the past. Thank you for watching. Kings Island's Top Gun is a ride with a deep history. Today, we're looking back at a significant incident from 2003 and how the ride has changed since then. Opened in 1993, Top Gun was a flagship suspended coaster themed after the iconic movie, offering riders a unique flying sensation. In July 2003, tragedy struck when a 52-year-old guest suffered a heart attack while on the ride, a moment that emphasized the importance of safety warnings. Reports later revealed that pre-existing conditions likely played a role, highlighting why parks provide such detailed health advisories today. In 2014, the ride was reimagined as The Bat, continuing its legacy of high-speed thrills while maintaining modern safety standards. Today, Kings Island employs rigorous daily inspections and clear guidelines to ensure every guest can ride with confidence. Understanding a ride's history helps us appreciate the engineering and safety that go into every thrill. Thanks for watching and stay safe. Deep in Ohio's history lies a legend, a revolutionary ride that vanished as quickly as it arrived. This is the mystery of the Bat. In the early 80s, rumors of a fatal restraint failure on Kings Island's prototype suspended coaster began to swirl. But what really happened? The Bat was the world's first modern suspended coaster. It was an engineering marvel, but it was plagued by mechanical issues from day one. Unbanked turns put immense strain on the track. After only 3 sporadic seasons, the park made the shocking choice to remove it in 1983. Despite the dark legends, official records show no fatalities on the original Bat. The rumors likely conflated its removal with other unrelated park tragedies. Today, a new Bat flies at Kings Island, standing as a successful tribute to that early, ambitious dream. The legend of the original Bat lives on, a reminder of the fine line between innovation and mystery. June 9, 1991 became known as Black Sunday at Kings Island, a day of unprecedented tragedy for the park. Among the incidents that day, the most notable was the fatal accident involving 32-year-old Candy Taylor on the Flight Commander ride. Flight Commander was a high-tech attraction where riders could flip their capsules 60 feet in the air. Tragedy struck when Taylor was ejected from her capsule during a maneuver, falling to the concrete below. Investigators identified a critical design flaw. The lack of a seat divider allowed Taylor to slide out of her restraint while riding alone. The accident led to immediate safety modifications and forever changed the standards for ride restraint design worldwide. Today, Black Sunday remains a somber reminder of the vital importance of safety in the pursuit of thrills. June 9, 1991, began like any other summer day at Kings Island, but it ended in a tragedy that would never be forgotten. Known as Black Sunday, a series of freak accidents claimed 3 lives, including that of a young hero named Eddie Haithcote. When a friend fell into an electrified pond, 21-year-old Eddie jumped in without hesitation to save him. In an act of pure, selfless courage, Eddie reached his friend, but the hidden current claimed them both. Eddie's bravery led to massive safety changes in amusement parks worldwide. Today, his legacy is one of ultimate sacrifice. As we enjoy the thrills of a park today, we remember the hero who gave everything. We remember Eddie Haithcote. His courage lives on, never forgotten. Opened in 2000, Son of Beast was the world's first wooden hypercoaster, standing 218 feet tall. It was an engineering marvel, but its record-breaking design came with significant structural challenges. In July 2006, a cracked support beam caused a severe jolt, injuring 27 riders. Investigators discovered deep-seated structural flaws that had plagued the ride since its grand opening. To save the ride, the park removed its iconic loop and introduced lighter trains in 2007. But the repairs weren't enough. After another incident in 2009, the gates were closed forever. In 2012, the massive wooden structure was finally dismantled, marking the end of an era. Today, the steel coaster Banshee stands in its place with only a small memorial left behind. Son of Beast remains a cautionary tale of ambition, pushing the limits of wooden engineering. Thanks for watching this look back at a fallen giant. We'll see you on the next ride. Kings Island is a park defined by its thrills and its history. But with decades of operation comes a rigorous focus on guest safety. One of the park's most unique rides was Firehawk, a flying coaster where riders face the ground through 5 intense inversions. Relocated from Gyaga Lake, Firehawk operated at Kings Island from 2007 until its retirement in 2018, reaching speeds of 51 miles per hour. While incidents were rare, the park's strict safety protocols and state inspections ensured the ride met the highest engineering standards throughout its life. Firehawk was eventually replaced by Orion, a giga coaster that represents the next generation of amusement park technology and reliability. At Kings Island, every ride incident in the past has led to better safety today, keeping the thrills safe for everyone. For the world of amusement parks, safety is always the ultimate ride. Thank you for watching. Kings Island is a place of joy, but its history holds a somber chapter from August 1989. One of the park's most tragic and misremembered events involved a dedicated member of the Strolling Clown Band. 39-year-old Thomas Cahill was a talented tuba player who brought smiles to visitors every day. As a violent thunderstorm swept in, Cahill headed to the parking lot, still carrying his tuba. In a terrifying instant, a bolt of lightning struck Cahill directly as he walked through the downpour. The strike was fatal. While often confused with other park incidents, this was a singular, natural tragedy. Today, advanced monitoring ensures guests are safe long before a storm arrives, a legacy of lessons learned. The music of Thomas Cahill has faded, but his story remains etched in the park's history. Opening in 2000, Son of Beast was meant to be a record-shattering sequel to a legend, but its history would be defined by structural failures. Standing 218 feet tall, it was the tallest and fastest wooden coaster in the world, reaching 78 miles per hour. It was also the first modern wooden coaster to feature a vertical loop, a feat of engineering that both captivated and terrified. Trouble started early. Design conflicts and safety violations plagued construction, leading to a lawsuit before it even opened. In 2006, a major structural failure in the Rose Bowl section caused severe jolts, sending 27 people to the hospital. In a desperate attempt to save the ride, the loop was removed and lighter trains were added, but the complaints of roughness persisted. A final injury report in 2009 led to a permanent shutdown. The beast stood silent until its demolition in 2012. Today, the steel coaster Banshee stands in its place, while parts of the original wood were sold as souvenirs to fans. The Son of Beast remains a cautionary tale of engineering ambition, meeting the harsh reality of wooden coaster limits. Kings Island offers world-class thrills, but a history of safety incidents shows the high cost of ignoring park rules. In June 2024, a tragedy occurred at the Banshee coaster when a guest entered a restricted area to retrieve dropped keys. Traveling at 68 miles per hour, these machines are lethal. Even a simple mistake can lead to devastating consequences. This echoes Black Sunday in 1991, when multiple fatalities occurred due to restricted area violations and ride accidents. Fences and signs aren't there to ruin the fun. They are the only barrier between guests and thousands of pounds of moving steel. If you drop an item, never enter a restricted zone. Park staff are trained to retrieve lost belongings safely after hours. Safety is a shared responsibility. By following the rules, we ensure that every visitor makes it home safely. Respect the boundaries, stay behind the line, and enjoy the ride. Stay safe, Kings Island. June 9th, 1991. A day that would forever be known as Black Sunday in the history of Kings Island. On this single day, 3 people lost their lives in 2 separate tragic incidents within just 75 minutes. At 8:30 p.m., a malfunctioning aerator pump leaked electricity into a decorative pond in the Oktoberfest area. 2 men, including a young security guard, were electrocuted while trying to help a friend. Both tragically died. Less than an hour later, tragedy struck again at the Flight Commander ride when a passenger was ejected from her capsule. Investigations cited inadequate restraints and park negligence, leading to the permanent closure of both the pond and the ride. Black Sunday prompted a massive overhaul of safety protocols, ensuring that such a tragedy would never happen again. Today, we remember the victims and the lessons learned that continue to keep park guests safe around the world. On June 19th, 2024, Kings Island in Ohio became the site of a tragic accident at the Banshee roller coaster. 38-year-old Arntanaro Nelson lost his keys during the ride and attempted to retrieve them himself. Despite staff warnings to wait, he bypassed 2 security fences and entered a restricted area beneath the track. A train traveling at 68 miles per hour struck Nelson in the head. He tragically succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. Investigations confirmed the ride had no mechanical failures, emphasizing the danger of entering restricted zones. This tragedy is a stark reminder that safety boundaries in amusement parks are not suggestions. They are life-saving. Always secure your loose items in lockers. No set of keys is worth risking your life. Trust the staff to help you. As we enjoy these thrills, let's remember the families affected and respect the rules that keep us all safe. Stay safe and respect the boundaries. Thank you for watching. In 2000, Kings Island opened Son of Beast, the world's tallest and fastest wooden coaster, and the only one with a loop. But by 2001, the dream turned into a nightmare as riders began suffering severe spinal injuries from its violent movements. In 2006, a support beam cracked, jolting a train and sending 27 people to the hospital, leading to the removal of its loop. After one final incident in 2009, the park shuttered the ride forever, demolishing the wooden giant in 2012. Today, the Banshee coaster stands in its place, while a small memorial honors the beast that couldn't be tamed. The Son of Beast remains a cautionary tale of engineering ambition pushed too far. Did you ever ride it? Standing at the heart of Kings Island is the iconic Eiffel Tower replica, but its history holds a dark chapter from 1983. On May 13, 1983, during a high school grad night, 17-year-old John Harder lost his life in a tragic accident. After entering a restricted area, Harder climbed into the tower's interior, where he was struck by an elevator's counterweight and fell to his death. The tragedy soon gave rise to the Tower Johnny legend, a persistent ghost story that has been passed down for generations. While urban legends often exaggerate the details, the memory of that night remains a somber reminder in the park's long history. Today, the tower stands safe and proud, but the story of John Harder stays with the steel, forever part of Kings Island. In the world of amusement parks, few names carry as much weight or controversy as the Son of Beast. Announced in 1999, it was designed to be the tallest and fastest wooden coaster on Earth. But in January 2000, disaster struck when strong winds caused a massive section of the unfinished ride to collapse. Remarkably, no one was injured, but the collapse was an early omen of the ride's troubled future. It finally opened in April 2000, but was immediately plagued by track defects and frequent closures. After a series of safety incidents and legal battles, the giant was finally demolished in 2012. Today, a simple tombstone serves as a reminder of a record breaker that was too big to survive. The Son of Beast remains a cautionary tale of engineering and ambition. June 9th, 1991 remains the darkest day in Kings Island history. Today we remember a hero from that tragic Black Sunday. Near the German beer garden, a faulty underwater pump turned a decorative pond into a lethal electrical field. When 2 men were struck by the current, 20-year-old security guard Daryl Robertson didn't hesitate. He dove in to save them. Tragically, Robertson was also electrocuted. He and another man lost their lives in a selfless act of heroism that night. His bravery led to sweeping safety changes across the industry. We honor Daryl Robertson's legacy and the lives lost on Black Sunday.